That voice in your head, the one that's been talking non-stop since you woke up this morning, the one that is judging this video right now, wondering if you should keep watching. It's not you. I know that sounds impossible, because if that voice isn't you, then who are you? Right now, that voice might be arguing. Of course, it's me. I'm thinking these thoughts. But here's the thing, if you can hear the voice, if you can notice it talking, then who is doing the noticing? Stay with me, because what you're about to discover will completely change how you experience your own mind. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's start with something we can all relate to. You send a text to someone you care about. They don't respond for 2 hours. And immediately the voice starts. They are ignoring me. Did I say something wrong? Maybe they don't actually like me. Or you make a small mistake at work and the voice replays it over and over again. I'm so stupid. Everyone probably thinks I'm incompetent. Or it's 2 a.m. You're trying to sleep and the voice is running through tomorrow's to-do list, reliving an embarrassing moment from 5 years ago, and planning an argument you'll probably never have. This is what psychologists call self-talk, that constant stream of commentary, judgment, and narration happening in your own mind. Scientists estimate we have between 6,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. That's a lot of talking. Neuroscientists have even found the brain network responsible for this chatter. It's called default mode network, the parts of your brain that activate when you're not focused on the outside world, when you're daydreaming, remembering the past, or worrying about the future. This network lights up like a Christmas tree. But here's what's wild. This voice feels so intimate, so central to who we are that we never question it. We assume the voice is us, our identity, our self. But what if it's not? To understand what this voice really is, we need to understand where it came from. Think back to when you were a child. You didn't have this voice at first. If you watch a baby, they are just pure presence, reacting to the world without commentary. But slowly, something happens. Your parents tell you, don't touch that, it's dangerous. Your teachers say, try harder. Your friends laugh when you make a mistake. Society shows you what's successful and what is failure. And your brain absorbs all of it. It creates an internal model, a voice that tries to keep you safe, help you fit in, and avoid pain. It's like your brain hired a full-time advisor based on everything you have experienced. The problem? This advisor is working with outdated information. Maybe your third grade teacher told you that you weren't good at math, and 20 years later, that voice still says, I'm bad with numbers every time you see a spreadsheet. Maybe your first relationship ended badly, and now the voice whispers you're going to get hurt again every time you start to feel close to someone. This voice is essentially a collection of past experiences, other people's opinions, cultural conditioning, and your brain's attempt to protect you from danger, even dangers that no longer exist. It's a survival mechanism. Our ancestors needed that worried voice saying that rustling in the bushes might be a lion. Run. But now the same mechanism activates when someone doesn't like your Instagram post. The voice isn't evil. It's trying to help, but it's not you. It's more like someone is running on your hardware, a program that's been installed and updated throughout your life. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Most people go their entire lives completely identified with this voice. They think, I am my thoughts define me. If I have anxious thoughts, I'm an anxious person. If I have angry thoughts, I'm an angry person. But let's do a simple experiment right now. Think about a pink elephant. Go ahead. Picture it. Okay. Who decided to think about that pink elephant? The voice or something deeper? Something that can choose what the voice focuses on. Now notice the voice itself. Just listen to it for a moment. What's it saying right now? Maybe it's commenting on this video, or thinking about what you need to do later, or judging yourself for getting distracted. Here's the key question. If you can observe the voice, if you can witness it thinking, then you must be separate from it. Think about it like this. The sky doesn't worry about the clouds passing through it. The clouds can come and go. but the sky remains. The movie screen doesn't become the movie. The images flash across it, but the screen stays unchanged. You are the sky. You are the screen. The voice, that's just the weather. That's just the movie. This is what philosophers and mystics have been pointing to for thousands of years. There's a part of you that exists beyond the thinking mind, a silent awareness, a presence that's always been there, quietly watching. This isn't New Age nonsense. This is ancient wisdom that appears in virtually every contemplative tradition across the world. Centuries ago, the Buddha thought that we suffer because we identify with our thoughts, believing them to be solid and permanent when they are actually just temporary mental events. He called this the illusion of the self. Not that you don't exist, but that you are not who you think you are. In Hindu philosophy, we distinguish between the mind and pure consciousness. The mind is constantly changing, constantly chattering, but consciousness, your true nature, is the unchanging witness behind it all. Even modern thinkers like Eckhart Tolle and Sam Harris say this. The I you believe yourself to be, that voice in your head, the storyteller, the feeling of being one solid person, isn't actually real. It's something your mind makes up. Just a story, not the true you. Now, I'm not saying you should abandon your culture or beliefs. This insight is universal. It's not about religion. It's about direct experience. Because every single person, regardless of background, can do this. Stop right now and notice. Notice that you're aware. Notice that there is a space of awareness in which all your thoughts, feelings, and sensations are appearing. That awareness, that's closer to who you really are than any thought ever could be. And remarkably, modern science is catching up to ancient wisdom. Neuroscientists studying meditation have found something fascinating. When people practice observing their thoughts without getting caught up in them, what's called metacognitive awareness or decentering, their brains actually change. Studies show that regular meditation reduces activity in the default mode network, the chatty network we talked about earlier. The voice literally gets quieter. At the same time, meditation strengthens connections between prefrontal cortex involved in awareness and attention and other brain regions. You're essentially training your brain to be less controlled by automatic thought patterns and more able to simply observe. Research on mindfulness-based therapies show that this observer perspective dramatically reduces anxiety and depression. Why? Because when you can see your thoughts as just thoughts, not facts, not your identity, just mental events passing through, they lose their power over you. A thought like I'm a failure is devastating when you believe it's an absolute truth about who you are. But when you can observe it as just a thought, oh, there's that I'm failure thought again, it becomes much less threatening. It's just weather passing through. Psychologists call this cognitive diffusion. You're learning to diffuse from your thoughts, to separate yourself from them. And here's what's beautiful. This isn't about forcing yourself to think positively or suppressing negative thoughts. It's simpler than that. It's just recognizing the fundamental truth that you're not your thoughts. You're the awareness experiencing them. Okay, this is all fascinating. But how do you actually use this in real life? Let's say you're feeling anxious. Maybe you have a big presentation tomorrow. And that voice is going wild. You're going to mess up. Everyone will judge you. You're not prepared enough. The old way. You believe these thoughts. You fight them, trying to replace them with positive thoughts. Or you spiral, getting more anxious about being anxious. The new way. You notice the voice. There's anxiety. The voice is predicting disaster again. It's trying to keep me safe by worrying. You don't judge it. You don't fight it. You just observe it like watching clouds pass. And here's what happens. When you're not completely identified with anxious thoughts, they don't have the same grip on you. You can feel the anxiety in your body. Acknowledge it and still move forward. Let's try another example. You're overthinking a relationship. The voice says, they haven't texted back. They must be losing interest. I'm too needy. I should play it cool. But what if I play it too cool and they think I don't care? Instead of getting lost in this mental maze, you can pause and recognize. This is the voice trying to control an uncertain situation. It's uncomfortable without knowing. You can feel the discomfort, observe the thoughts, and choose how to respond rather than being controlled by the chatter. Or imagine you're trying to focus on work, but the voice keeps pulling you to check social media, worry about that awkward thing you said yesterday, or plan dinner. When you recognize that's just the default mode network doing its thing, you can gently redirect your attention. You're not fighting yourself, you're just noticing when the voice has taken over and choosing to return to presence. This observer perspective also transforms how you handle criticism. When someone criticizes you and that inner voice starts spiraling, they're right, I'm terrible, everyone thinks I'm terrible. You can catch yourself. The voice is taking one person's opinion and turning it into a catastrophe. But that's what it does. We don't have to believe this story. The practical benefits of this is enormous. Less anxiety, better focus, more confidence, healthier relationships, and a fundamental sense of peace that doesn't depend on everything going perfectly. And here's the beautiful thing. This struggle is completely universal. A student in Mumbai worrying about exam results, same voice. A CEO in New York anxious about a board meeting, same voice. A parent in Lagos concerned about their children's future, same voice. A teenager in Tokyo feeling insecure about how they look, same voice. Different languages, different cultures, different circumstances, but the same fundamental experience of being trapped in mental chatter, believing that voice is who we are. You know that feeling of lying in bed, exhausted, but unable to sleep because your mind won't stop? That's universal. Every culture has words for it because every human experiences it. That moment when you replay a conversation over and over again, thinking better things you could have said, universal. The inner critic that tells you you're not good enough, not successful enough, not attractive enough, that voice speaks every language on earth. You're not the voice. You never were. And the moment you truly see this, not just intellectually, but as a lived experience, everything changes. So what happens when you really get this? When it becomes more than just an interesting idea, you start experiencing moments of profound peace. Not because everything in your life is perfect, but because you're no longer at war with your own mind. You still have thoughts. Of course you do. The voice doesn't disappear. It's like turning down the volume on a radio that's been blasting your entire life. You finally hear the silence that was always underneath. You become less reactive. When someone cuts you off in traffic or says something hurtful, there's a space between the trigger and your response. The voice might still jump in with anger or hurt, but you're not forced to act on it immediately. You have a choice. You worry less about the past and future because you're more anchored in the present moment, the only place where you actually exist. The voice loves to time travel, but you start recognizing right now, in this actual moment, am I okay? Usually the answer is yes. You become more creative, more present in your relationships, more able to appreciate simple things because you're not constantly lost in the mental commentary about everything. And most importantly, you discover a sense of self that's deeper and more stable than anything the voice could provide. A sense of being that doesn't depend on achievements, others' approval, or circumstances going your way. You realize, I'm not the character in the story. I'm the awareness in which the story appears. This is freedom. So let me leave you with this. The voice inside your head isn't you. It never was. And if the voice inside your head isn't you, then maybe the real you has been waiting in silence all along. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's the voice inside your head saying right now? Let's talk about it. See you in the next video and do subscribe.